Episode 61, This Week in Bitcoin.
Interested in Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is a very vague concept to a lot of people.
Need to know more about cryptocurrency?
We're going to talk about the basics. This is something that people just have no idea about what crypto is.
How about buying, selling, and mining?
Tony, I think that's one of the things that's going to make us a little different from some other shows.
We're getting our hands dirty.
Then listen to Gary Leland and Tony Sakala, better known as the Crypto Cousins, on the Crypto Cousins podcast. This week's price.
This week's price of Bitcoin, $7,346. That's up $258.69, or 3.6% over the last 7 days. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Gary Leland here.
And this is Tony Sakala.
Well, Tony, I'm kind of excited just from the start of the show there.
Exactly. 3.6%, nothing to sneeze at.
But the best part is, this is like 3 weeks in a row.
Yes, it is.
Which we haven't seen that in a long time.
Well, you know what Cousin John said? He said the whole thing, the whole 6 months bear market was just some confusion, misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding. I didn't understand what that meant, to be honest. But I misunderstood even. I misunderstood him. But you're right. That is what he said in an article we're going to discuss later today. So, yeah, you are correct. Yeah, but 3 weeks ago it was up like only $5 or $6. Last week I think it was, or 2 weeks ago it was $5 or $6. Last week it was up like $600. And this week it's up over $250. That's on the right track if this can keep going that direction and not be like a dead cat bounce, as Tone taught us.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think John McAfee, he has a lot riding on, his reputation and a lot of other things riding on going to a certain price. But I think that what we're seeing here is really the manipulators, the market manipulators, have really had a good time with Bitcoin because it's easy to manipulate. It's very easy to do that if you know how to work those exchanges, and that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing a lot of market manipulation. And what the average person doesn't recognize is the value of Bitcoin yet. Like, they just haven't gotten that, there's only 21 million and this is going to go away really soon. 2020, we're going to have the next halvening. And pace of Bitcoin production is going to drop in half again.
So I wasn't into Bitcoin during the last halvening. And for those who might not know, halvening is when the block reward drops in half to miners. So to go from 12.5 to 6.25 in less than 2 years. Mm-hmm. What happened last time there was a halvening where it would have gone from 25 to 12.5, which was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago? 2.5
years ago. To be frank, I don't exactly remember what the price did on that day.
I just was wondering. Another thing, and I want to make sure everybody knows we're not financial advisors. I don't say that. We don't say that very often anymore. But if I'm going to say some thoughts on something, I think I should throw that out there just to cover my what. Mm-hmm. But the future contracts ended last week, and so since the future contracts ended, and that's when last year when the CBME or whatever it is started the futures. That's when the price went through the roof, when they announced them.
There was an announcement. I mean, I don't pretend, we both don't pretend to be financial advisors, but, what exactly does the futures mean? I mean, so basically, isn't that just like a horse race, like betting? Like, this horse is going to go up, this horse is going to go down, and I think it's going to go a certain price.
They were saying that they're going to bet. They announced that they were going to start the futures last year, okay? The two of them did. The CME and the CBOE or whatever. I know I got the letters wrong, but there were two of them. And they announced they were going to start futures. You could basically bet that Bitcoin's going up or Bitcoin's going down without buying any Bitcoin. Okay? This is what I get out of it. And so because of that, they said, we're going to start futures on January the 1st. Might have been another date, but I think I'm pretty close. So in October, when they announced this, people started buying Bitcoin to drive the price up. And they started buying Bitcoin, and the price starts going up, and they buy Bitcoin, and the price goes up. Finally, by Christmas, the price is $20,000. And then the futures start, and they all go, I think Bitcoin's going in the toilet. I'm shorting Bitcoin. Right? So they go, I'm shorting Bitcoin.
Because it had nowhere to go. It could only go down.
Well, they drove it up.
Had it rise, exactly.
They're the ones that drove it up by buying so much. They drove it up on purpose so they could short it and make money. So they said, I'm shorting Bitcoin. They threw all their Bitcoin for sale. And so they're selling all theirs at 19, 18, 17, but there's so much going on in the market that is driving the price down to where they said it would go, down to $7,000 and $6,000. So they made all this money while it was going up because they started buying it at $7,000 and $8,000, and they made all this profit of it going up to 20. Then said, "Oh, I think it's dropping to 6." Sold all this Bitcoin at 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. It made all that money because then it dropped to 6 and they won their bet.
So they basically won going up and they won going down. And what does that prove? What did we hear from Ronnie Moaz?
Yeah, a bunch of bastards in New York and Chicago.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying at, and that's sort of my conversation is, now that the contracts ended, I heard that. I do a lot of research on it, but so maybe I shouldn't even be talking about it. But I did see they ended, and all of a sudden stuff's going up again. So I wonder if people are like trying to manipulate the price again.
I see.
So they can short it again. So I'm wondering okay, all these people drive the price up, and then they bet on futures and drive the price up by buying it and make money when it gets up there because now it's worth more. Plus they bet it was going to go to the moon. Then when those contracts end, do they go, I think it's going to short now? And then they start selling it all and making money on the way down. I mean, is that like a cycle that will happen over and over?
Well, I don't know the details because, when it comes to that sort of thing, I just look at it just like I look at sports. It's like you're betting on points and, it's a crapshoot, unless you really are in there rigging the game. And I think those guys are rigging the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think really, that may be one of the ways they're rigging it is all I'm saying. And like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I think you're absolutely right. But I definitely think I priced that drive up to 20 last year was done so they could short it and make a ton of money on the way down.
Exactly.
Hey, I also want to remind everybody, September the 28th is our Cryptiversary. It's our 1-year anniversary. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but even if you're not, check out our party. That's what I'm calling it because we're having a party.
Yes, we are.
And we've got a Facebook group for it at cryptocousins.com/party. I know we have an Eventbrite, but I don't know what that is. So
I think that's what it is. I think does it forward with the party /party.
Party goes to Facebook page.
Facebook page. Okay.
I'll have to find out what the Eventbrite is and
the
make it short.
We've got 2 tickets so far.
Yeah, so I'll make one for the Eventbrite next week. Well, that's only on Eventbrite. We got a ton on the Facebook page. No one's going to come if they think there's 2 people. That'd be me and you.
That would be. Yeah,
we got a lot more than that. That's just on the Eventbrite page, which we made last week. We got a lot more than that. We're gonna have at least 30 people there. I promise you.
At least. I've
had a lot of people. Even my coffee sponsor, Dona at the Green Oak 7-Eleven. Better give him a shout out. He gives me free coffee every morning. His son. I went in there Saturday and his son goes, "Hey, we're coming to the party." And I'm going, so a lot of people just don't like to fill out those forms too. They just come.
No, that makes sense.
So check out cryptocousins.com/party because we're going to have a party. That's all it is an excuse for a party. And also, Tony, I see you have done a lot of work on the BitBlock Boom page.
I have.
So we're ready for 2019?
We are.
Excellent.
We'll be more ready as time goes on, but we got a good start.
So the page is up now. It's looking good. But if you're interested in speaking at BitBlock Boom, that's what I was throwing the bone there for you, Tony. I
didn't jump on the bone. Yeah. I did a great job, and we're really ready. And so you guys are interested in speaking, you can go to bitblockboom.com/speaker-form and fill out the form. And it's a very highly reviewed. It's hard to get in, let's put it that way, because we're really focusing on Bitcoin, and it's a Bitcoin maximalist conference, and we're very excited about that. So if you have something to say about Bitcoin, send us the application.
Yeah, if you were at our event in July, you know that there's no shilling or coins at our event. I guess you could shill Bitcoin. But that's it. That's the only coin you can shill at our events. So if you're coming to shill the Frankenstein coin or the creature from the Black Lagoon coin, you're probably not going to speak at our event.
I think there's actually a lemonade coin and a tea coin.
Well, why not? There's a pot coin.
That's true. But if you put them together, you can make an Arnold Palmer coin.
Arnold Palmer coin. Is that what
lemonade and iced tea?
Is that the name of a drink?
You don't know? You never had an Arnold Palmer?
No. Does it have alcohol in it?
It's half iced tea and half lemonade. It's a regular old drink.
I have not had. I don't like iced tea, and I'm not a big lemonade drinker.
There you go. So you never want to put them together.
Well, if they had vodka in it, I might try it. but I don't even know that I would try tea with them. Is there tea in a Long Island iced tea?
Yes, I think there's a little iced tea.
Okay, I never knew. Well, let's get on to this week in Bitcoin. I think because we're known.
We're known for just, what did it say?
For rambling on about stuff. Yeah. Even though this show's talking about Bitcoin, we can't help it. We're rambling on. So did you see that Yahoo Finance is now allowing you to trade cryptos? What do you think of that?
Well, Yahoo's not been very well known for its high caliber, so I'm not quite sure that you want to trust going over to Yahoo. Have you ever launched a website on Yahoo hosting?
No.
It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all.
No, I've never launched a website, but I did pay $160 or $115 one time to have a website listed on Yahoo.
Oh, wow. Well, back in the day.
Back in the day, they charged to be in their search engine database. And my first website got in there for free, and it was like, wow, this one would do good. My second one never got in there, so I finally paid.
And do they still go Yahoo? Do they have commercials that say that?
I think that's a chocolate drink, isn't it?
It is. There's a trademark infringement going on there.
But anyway, Yahoo added, and I was confused on this, they added Bitcoin, they added Litecoin, they added Ethereum, and they added Dogecoin. What in the hell is with... Why would that be their fourth one?
Well, because it's Yahoo that they want to signal to you just how serious they are about the whole space.
Well, yeah, Dogecoin went up like 38% this week.
Well, there you go. Well, maybe it was a nice... They worked out a little insider deal.
Well, that's only on the iOS that's on there.
I see.
It's not on the desktop version. But they say it'll be on there before the year's over. But yeah, and they're not actually running that. They're using a third party that does that kind of stuff, and they're just like integrated the third party. So Yahoo's really not even doing it. They're just integrating that third party tool into their website.
I see. They have to show something. They're really in such bad shape.
But I think it's a good sign that they're putting it on there. I mean, it's more exposure.
It's more exposure, exactly.
And there is somebody who uses Yahoo Finance.
Even the Yahooligans who go to Yahoo Finance.
Well, I'm sure somebody uses that. I don't know who. I don't use it, but I'm sure someone does. And all of a sudden they go, what's this stuff on here?
Someone in Appalachian, maybe.
Well, you don't think that it legitimizes crypto?
Somewhat? Well, it all depends on how you look at it. If you did know crypto and you have a Yahoo email account, then you see crypto, well, then maybe it's something great. But if you are like a technical person or somebody in the know and you see Yahoo as it, it's like someone telling you, oh, you've got a great email. You should get a Yahoo email account. That's the way I look at it.
What?
It's like AOL. It's like if AOL added it. Is AOL still in business? It's like if AOL added crypto.
I know that Yahoo is not what Yahoo used to be, but they're not AOL either, though. Actually, Tony, okay. I'm helping this friend of mine who is down on his luck, and he's trying to get a kidney and stuff, and he can't hold down a job because he weighs like 135 pounds. He can't physically work. Wow. So I got someone donated an iPhone to him, an iPhone 5, and I'm setting it up, and I go, Mark, what's your email address so I can set this all up? And his email is at yahoo.com. Okay? So he's an old fart, not only physically, but mentally. So he is still using Yahoo. There are a lot of people I bet they still use Yahoo. I bet you it's in the millions, Tony.
Oh, I bet it's in the tens of millions, if not more. I mean, I have a Yahoo account, but that's where I send all my, when I sign up for a contest or something. And I don't want to ever see that email again.
Well, if you've got a Flickr account, you have to have a Yahoo account.
Unfortunately, I do.
Yeah, and I do too. That's why I have a Yahoo account. It's for my Flickr account. That's the only reason I have one.
I mean, have you seen that inbox? I mean...
No, I haven't looked at it in 10 years.
It's you go to the inbox and you're assaulted with ads before you can even see your own email, and like dancing, peacocks, and it's just really the dregs of the internet. I'm sorry.
Well, I still say that I've looked at his inbox, and his inbox doesn't have all that because he uses it daily. You never use yours daily. So for people who are on there who are old farts, probably on the average, this is a pretty good deal because now they're seeing something they gave no credibility to because it's really younger people that have jumped on the bandwagon on cryptocurrencies. And the younger people don't have the money older people have.
They're going to go buy Dogecoin because it's cheap.
Well, I'm just saying, younger people don't have the capital that older people have on an average. So I think that's really a good sign for crypto.
It's a good sign for Dogecoin, but I disagree.
I don't understand the Dogecoin.
It's up in the uptake. Because what people are like on Yahoo, like, oh, I can buy this. This is cheap. I'll get the cheap one.
Well, I'm sure they're going to add more.
Hopefully. Well, I mean, have Bitcoin. They could have just stopped there.
Well, I know that's the way we feel, but that's not. I don't know. I kind of like trading in some of the other ones.
I read the article yesterday. I'm now going off topic, but this one guy said that he thinks Ethereum's going to zero.
I've seen a couple of people say that. And you know who doesn't have an Ethereum?
Who?
Me.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I got rid of all of it earlier. How about this article on Beijing? I know we're not in China, but I thought this was kind of interesting also because of the article under it. In China, in Beijing, the country of China, the government has banned all cryptocurrency, all crypto events. All blockchain events, crypto events, any of them are banned in Beijing. You can't even have a meetup. We couldn't go over there and say, we want to have a Crypto Cousins meetup. We couldn't do it in China.
You can't even have like a Tupperware party where you take crypto.
No, you can't.
In your house.
And they have a special hotline website that they have to report these at.
So you could write
You
out
could in your house. It's like for hotels and motels and conference centers.
I see.
It's in the financial district.
So it's basically driving it underground to the black market.
Oh, I guess so. But it's in the financial district in Beijing. They've canceled. You can't have any crypto events, blockchain cryptocurrency events at all. And like 6 months ago or so, there was one blockchain event going on, and supposedly there was an ICO that had a table there, and the Chinese government came in and shut down the whole event.
The whole event, just from that ICO.
Right. So
they don't mess around over there.
They don't mess around over there.
I'm sure they were armed when they shut that guy down, too.
I think they're armed all the time.
They're pretty much armed.
I don't think it's... but then again, so are the police here. I mean, they just aren't carrying machine guns.
But I mean,
around.
they're like really packing. They're packing serious heat.
I don't know. I see police coming around here on TV all the time, and they look like they're military SWAT teams.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah, so they're packing it here, too. But the reason I thought this was interesting is not only is the fact it was banned there, but, we know there's companies like A-Chain, who we interviewed, that's out of China. We know there's companies like, who was we talked to not too long ago with the app for podcasting that pays Bitcoin. Castbox is out of China, and then Bitmain is out of China. So I wonder how all this, if they're like cracking down on crypto and Bitcoin so much that you can't even have a meetup. Literally, that would be against the rules from what I can figure out. You can't even say, hey, let's all meet at Starbucks and have a coffee and talk about Bitcoin. You can't do it. So how can they get away with, what's that going to do for companies like Bitmain?
Well, they're opening a $500 million factory in Texas. So that's what it's going to do. Good for Texas.
Right outside of College Station where Texas A&M is at.
Exactly. So, if you can't contain a technology like Bitcoin, it will go just where it needs to, where it can go. It'll go all over the world. There are some companies that want to go to Canada to get some cheap hydro, and they wouldn't let them. So some other cities and other states are going to open their arms to crypto, as you discussed, I'm sure.
I was kind of confused on Bitmain coming to Texas, though. It's hot. So they got to pay a lot for AC. And the electricity is not necessarily that cheap. It's cheaper than Hawaii. I'll give them that. It's cheaper in California, but it's not like Washington State.
Well, you know how it works with government. They can give them tax breaks for coming in, and that will offset dramatically because they're making so much money that they're going to have to pay a lot of taxes. Also, we have in Texas wind, and we have solar. So
I think they may be using that for their electricity, wind and solar.
They could be supplementing
instead of hydro like they do in Washington. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But this article, now we're talking about Bitmain, has that Bitmain is losing its competitive edge before this IPO, initial purchase offering of their stock comes out. And it went in to say not only were they losing their competitive edge because they bought so much Bitcoin Cash,
which is a huge mistake.
Which is a huge mistake. We all know Bcash is a huge mistake in our opinion. But that they put so much money of their Bcash, which has dropped drastically. But so has Bitcoin, but I think Bitcoin Cash has dropped more. But the supplier, their major supplier of ASIC chips, of the chips in parts or whatever they use in process, whatever it is in ASIC machines. Mm-hmm. Someone who did a study on them for the IPO said that company should not only no longer extend them credit, they also shouldn't even be making parts for them without being paid in advance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not just because they're an evil empire, but because they may not be able to pay them back. Exactly.
Right. Yeah, so there was a study done by some cats. I know we don't have all the information here.
We're not super
But you're
detailed.
not going to remember most of this anyway, right?
Exactly.
Right? You're not
Just
going to
giving
remember
you the big picture.
If I said Joseph Young Company did a study, you're not going to remember that. You're just going to remember there was a study. So there was a study about them for their new stock coming out on the Chinese stock exchange, trying to give you as much detail as I can. And the guy said, this place is like lost their competitive edge, and you shouldn't be giving them credit anymore because they're not going to pay you, and you ought to be asking for payment in advance.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and what do they say? They're just trying to unload their bags like that. They're in that field. They say that they've got these bags, and they're trying to dump them on investors as quickly as possible.
What does bags stand for, Tony?
I think that's like your bags of money, or maybe empty bags, because it's usually in the context of,
or it could be worthless bags.
Yeah, worthless. It's usually in context of that things are going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, usually it's something that you want to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear someone say, "Yeah, I got rid of a bunch of bags of Ripple."
Yeah, exactly.
I bought those bags at $2.50. A coin. Now they're 22 cents or 23 cents. I saw a thing the other day, Ripple going to 1 cent.
Right.
But
right.
I'm not a financial advisor. But I see all kinds. It's funny. It's funny when you're watching this stuff on YouTube, Tony. If you see something that you find interesting, like I saw something on Ripple the other day, and it was only 4 minutes. I said, I'll watch it. Then for the next 2 days, your feed is filled with all these things about Ripple. Ripple's going to a penny. Ripple's going to the moon. Ripple is going sideways. Oh, my gosh. I didn't hardly see Ripple stuff on my YouTube feed before. Now it's all over the place.
Well, sorry about that.
I find it interesting, and on Bitmain's part, because not only are they getting hammered by the financial analysis people, and they have China on the other side banning crypto stuff. So,
well, additionally, I don't think the analysis went into such detail of the actual demand for miners is dropping. I mean, people who have been mining for years, or at least in a year and a half, are realizing they're not going to make return on investment for at least 2 or 3 years on their machines. They can buy an ASIC, but the promised prices are such a lie, because what happens is Bitmain will send out some demo machines to YouTube reviewers, and people can see them mining dramatically, $200 a day. And so it just drives up the demand. And of course, that's before they've all shipped and the difficulty rises. And so it's really sad.
Their machines have gone down a lot.
They dropped the prices dramatically.
So, I mean, they're not making near what they were.
No, not at all.
So their income's dropped. Their value of their coins that they decided to hold on to dropped. I mean, I'm sure that Jivan Wu, who owns Bitmain's, not really hurting yet, by any means. But things are not what they were there.
No. Well, they basically had a monopoly for a long, long time.
Well, who's like knocked down their monopoly? I mean, I keep hearing about all these people coming, but I haven't seen any other machines.
Well, there's a handful of machines. Vosk did a review of a machine recently. Not the name escapes me, but it's liquid cooled, and it was very powerful. And Silicon is also making now miners, and so you have a handful of new companies that are competing. It's not rocket science, I guess.
Well, I wouldn't think it would be. That's why I was always surprised they were the only ones doing it. I mean, when they were making that kind of margins plus mining. Well, let's go on to this last one for the day, and this is your favorite company, probably in the world, Coinbase.
Coinbase.
They continue to add 50,000 users a day. That's a lot of people with crypto in the toilet, 50,000 people a day.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Well, I think that we're into the long tail now. These are the late comers. They decided they've heard about crypto and they want to get in. And of course, the referral program works very well. And so people are referring their friends.
But 50,000 people a day coming in, that's still a lot of people.
And that's what Brian Armstrong said. Maybe it's 40,000, maybe.
Well, even if it's 40,000, even if it's 30,000, that's still a lot of people. I mean, you take 50,000 times 7, that's 350,000. That's almost 1.5 million a month. What
do you think's driving that?
Must be all those people wanting $10 for their free crypto.
Exactly.
But, if that is such a profitable marketing tool, I mean, how come Genesis hasn't added it or somebody? You don't hear anyone talking about Genesis. I bet you they don't come close to 50,000 users a day.
Which one, Genesis or Gemini?
Yeah, Gemini, the Winklevoss brothers. I bet you they don't come close to 50. I don't know, but I bet you they don't come close to that.
Well, Binance is doing well. They have a referral
program. Have a referral program, right. So I guess it must be the referral program. You got a referral program. BitMEX is doing pretty good. They have a referral program.
Exactly.
So it must be the referral program. If you have a referral program, so Gemini, hey, Winklevoss brothers, you may want to start giving away $11 worth of Bitcoin.
There you go.
And you'll get 50,000 new customers a day.
Yeah.
Because everybody will switch referring you for the extra $1.
The extra buck.
Yeah. So, the thing is, though, even if they quit referring that money today, Coinbase, they are all over the net on so many sites with the referral codes and links and images that they still would be doing great.
Yeah, that advertising will just keep going.
Yeah, because it's not like we're going to go through every page on the site just to get rid of that link.
Unfortunately, you're right.
Yeah. So,
but we're doing our best to get rid of and change things up. We've got new tools, and Gary and I are WordPress experts.
Well, we try to be.
So we do we actually are. We can actually say we're WordPress experts.
Well, that's what we do for a day job. Well, that is our...
Covered it all?
And those all came from articles that we had last week on 4 Minute Crypto, and I'll have all the links to that in the show notes. And also since I mentioned it, because me, Tony, I am not the cool guy.
You're the shill.
I'm the shill. I'm the shill. And everybody has a job in life, and mine is to be the shill.
You guys have to check out 4 Minute Crypto. Even if you don't listen, please check out the thumbnails. Gary's he's got the best thumbnails on the planet. You're waving, you're laughing, you're shouting, your eyebrows are up. I mean, it's just.
You like my thumbnails?
I mean, I've never seen such creative. You're pointing, your face is in horror. It's just. You do a really great job.
Well, thank you. And you can check that out at 4minutecrypto.com. Or, you can subscribe on your Alexa as a morning briefing. That's the thing to do. Then every morning you wake up and you go, hey, what's the news for the day? And you can hear me giving you a short 4 minute or less news article, because it has to be less than 5 minutes to be on the Alexa as a briefing.
That's really cool. So what do you say? Alexa, play briefing.
You say, Alexa, News. That's all you'd have to say.
Oh, news. That's all.
Yeah, and if you've set it up, you have to set up. Yeah, because it's got to know what news you want. You know, it doesn't know if you want stock news or if you want the astronomy news for the day.
I know I set it up on my list. I forgot the exact phrase.
So you just tell it to do the news, I think, and it automatically does your briefings that you set up. Well, Tony, anything else you want to go over here? Because this could be a record for us.
Record, short show. I think we'll keep it short and sweet today. Hope everyone had a good Labor Day and that everyone stayed out of trouble as best that they can. And we are so looking forward to Cryptoversary.
Our Cryptoversary, yes. Go to cryptocousins.com/party. And let me do a little bit of shilling here. Because I haven't done much shilling, and I'm not really comfortable. I'm not really, I'm having like the Joneses.
Yeah.
And if you know me, you know I got to promote stuff because I'm a shiller. I want to make sure if this is the first time you've heard this show, subscribe to our show at cryptocousins.com/subscribe. At that link, you'll find everything from iTunes to Google Play to YouTube, everything.
Spotify.
Yeah.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff is there. So go to cryptocousins.com/subscribe. Also, send us a voice question or an email. You can email us at thecryptocousins@gmail.com or send us a voice message.
Call us and send the voicemail at 747-777-9471.
And that's a lot of sevens.
I like it.
It's a lucky phone number. And so that's really about it. So let's all hope that Bitcoin is up 4 weeks in a row. Well, I guess if you were shorting it, you're not going to be hoping that.
Right.
So I don't know. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Anything you want to say before we get out of here, dude?
Just thanks for listening and get involved. Ask a question. Sometimes we play these questions on the air if you hadn't heard them before. And so leave us a voicemail. We're really excited to engage with you guys. So. Engage.
That sounds like what Jean-Luc Picard would say. Engage. I don't think he said something else.
No, he did say, yeah.
Did he say? Okay, there you go. Okay, thanks everyone for listening. We love you.
Bye now.
Thanks for listening to the Crypto Cousins podcast. Please share this podcast with anyone you know that is interested in cryptocurrency. Your friends can subscribe on iTunes at cryptocousins.com/iTunes and on Android at cryptocousins.com/play. If you want to know more about Tony or Gary, just go to tonysakala.com or garyleland.com. Make sure and join us on the next episode, and thanks for listening. The Crypto Cousins podcast and information in the podcast are not intended as investment advice. Cryptocurrencies are risky. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always seek professional advice before making any investment. Investing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies may present tremendous risks. Please understand that you are using any and all information available on or through the Crypto Cousins podcast at your own risk.